Hey, what's up? First of all, do you like my shirt? Mood. I got it from around the corner in Karasukira. Anyway, today, let me talk. How many is this? 6 K-beauty products that seem a little bit gimmicky, I guess. Rather unique ideas, I guess, for beauty products, but that I feel like are actually pretty decent. So lining up in here. Now, the first one I'm going to actually start off is this lip product because I have nothing on my lips and I need to put something on them. This is the It's Skin. I actually don't even know the name of this. It's Skin Itch Top Professional Melting Lip and Cheek Powder. I feel like for a little bit on YouTube, these sort of powdery things that you can use on your lips was going around for a while and they're kind of gimmicky or whatever. My friend's wife, she used this in a video and I was like, because it's like one of her like signature looks for her lips, and I was always wondering what she used, and I found out what she was using and I was like, I had to snatch that shit right up. I will link her video down below. This is in the color number 5, Dusty Rose, and it's like it suggests, it's one of those powder, oh shit. It's the kind of powder that like melts down into whatever. I've never actually used it on my cheeks, but on my lips, I like it. Now, like Yukenip, that girl, she actually used it with another lip color. She used it with this Bia Last lipstick in number 6. And she uses this as a base, and so that's what I do. Now, the important thing with the lip powder is it works. It's just that you need to make sure that your lips and inside your lips are absolutely dry. There's no moisture, no saliva, or else it's not gonna stick. I just fucking licked my lips. And taking this, what I do is I kind of rub back and forth. Not too much though, because what I noticed with this is that it rubs itself off. You want to make sure your lips are completely dry because if there's any moisture in your lips, it's not gonna stick. It's just gonna like wipe off. And I kind of noticed that it lasts a little bit longer than other lip colors because I think it's because it's a powder. It almost has that element, I don't want to say waterproof, but it has that slightly stronger formula to it, I guess, because it's powder. And again, because it is powder, it kind of makes your lips look a lot smoother. Next up is actually the product that inspired this video. I bought this a while ago, and I actually only used it today because I was waiting for a video to use it, and I just didn't know what to use in it because I didn't feel like dedicating one whole video to it. It's the Dewy Tree Pick and Quick Mask, and this is literally like Kleenex for sheet masks, so self-explanatory. It's a box full of sheet masks. It comes with a little tweezer thing, a plastic tweezer thing to pick out the sheet mask, and there's 30 sheets in here. There's 3. I saw at the time I saw 2 formulas. This is the Posip Yongzang, which I think is moisture. I think it was only 13,000 won. I think it was like $12. So if you think about the cost, it's almost like half the cost of like one sheet mask at most road shop brands. So I think it's great value for your money. There are a lot of people in Korea that do sheet masks every morning. Ilil Ilpack, which is 1 day, 1 mask, or 1 pack. A lot of people will do sheet masks before their makeup. I like to do it just because I want the moisture in my skin. What I do is I pat my skin with some toner after I cleanse real quick so that the moisture here absorbs better. You don't have to do that, but I like to. And I just pull one out. Well, I pulled one out because it's the first time I used it. I pulled one out and I just apply it. Now, it's not like soaking drenched in essence, but the essence in this one specifically was not, it didn't feel like a cheap, like it evaporated from my skin, but it felt really moisturizing. So for moisture purposes, I think it's great, especially if you're into sheet masking. And again, I think the value is great for the price. Oh, and also there's a little space for you to write the day that you open it and how long you can keep it right here, so that's useful. Another skincare product I have is from Naked Face. Naked Face, you don't really hear, I mean, I talk about their shit all the time. Just the used one. Their AHA Scaling Cream completely changed the skincare game for me. But their skincare, in general, Naked Face, I feel like nobody really talks about them. I feel like I'm the only one talking about them, but that's just me. They have this thing called the Stress Zero Cleansing Stick. They have a Stress Zero line, which is meant for like the most sensitive of skin. So it has very like non-irritating ingredients in this line, and this is like the cleanser, I guess, and you cannot even. Now the Stress Zero Cleansing Stick, what it's supposed to be, is supposed to be a 3-in-1 cleanser. It's a balm, oil, and foam. It's literally like a cleansing balm in a solid form. So what you're supposed to be able to do is apply it, kind of lifting off the makeup. In the little clip that you're seeing me applying it, I didn't have anything on my face because I I can use this in the morning to cleanse my skin if I'm feeling a little bit dry. But for the most part, I've used it like 99% of the time. I'll use this for my cleanse at night when I have to take my makeup off. But you apply it all over, then you kind of rub it in with your skin, just like you would any other cleansing balm or cleansing oil. And when you add water to it, it becomes a little bit milky, and it foams a tiny bit, but it's not meant to foam. I don't know why they call it a foam cleanser when even on the site it says it's not meant to foam up like that. It just becomes a little bit more milky and turns into like a regular cleanser that you can just wipe off. And if you work at it, you can do everything in one step, but for me, I kind of just still double cleanse. Now, this whole cleansing stick bit is the gimmicky part about it, and I do think it definitely removes my makeup. There are some reviews saying that they felt like there was residue left on the skin, and I feel like there might be, but for me, I always take my makeup off, like when I cleanse my makeup off with an oil cleanser or cleansing balm, I always remove it with a washcloth or a sponge. So I'm not really left with that feeling, and I double cleanse anyway. So there is that to keep in mind. However, there's also that bit where you kind of get the makeup on the stick here, and that freaks some people out because you can just see all this like beige or whatever foundation is on the stick. And it does on the site recommend that you wipe it off. Whenever I'm done wiping off the cleanser, I wipe off the cleansing stick as well. And I do actually run through this really quickly. So I wouldn't say it's super cost effective. I just think that for what it is, it works decently. But I think the biggest downfall of this is that you can't actually use it near your eyes, which is ironic because on the website, it shows a sample of a girl removing waterproof eyeliner with it, which it can, but there's like mint leaves in there that will help with cleansing, which feels nice on the skin. But on the eyes, I've gotten it in my eyes, and it was so painful. It stung so badly. My eyes were like bloodshot red for like an hour or two, and my eyes just kept watering. It's not hard to avoid your eyes with this, but you're gonna need to use a separate eye and lip makeup remover if you're gonna wanna use this after. So as a gimmicky product, it works, but there are some cons to it, is what I'm gonna say. Now let's talk about some makeup. Makeup tool first. The Aspire, I don't remember what this is called. It's just their silicone sponge. It's like a puff that comes with like a cushion puff foundation, but silicone. I have a video of this, and when I first discovered this, I was introduced to this by a Korean beauty blogger, and I fucking went insane. There was that whole bit about silicone sponges. They're still available here in Korea. I'm sure they're available everywhere, but I still see them around here. But out of every one that I've tried, I mean, I've only tried like 2. This one and that first one I did, the original one. But this one, I feel like actually works. One, you get this little thing here, so you don't have to like, because the other ones you kind of have to hold like this and it gets a little messy. This, it just, you know, you can put it into any of your cushions or whatever. The way I like to apply foundation with this, however, or any product, is not really patting, but mostly kind of holding it like this and kind of smoothing it across the skin. You can do this, but it has a tendency to lift up dead skin cells. And also, I just feel like doing this one swipe motion helps push the foundation or whatever, the primer or whatever, into the skin more, and you get a more smoother finish. And then once you do that, for the most part, then you can kind of just like start tapping into the skin. And with this, you need like the tiniest amount of foundation. Like if you have a full coverage foundation, you need like a pinhead size of foundation, because it, again, doesn't absorb any product. So your spray goes such a long way. The only thing is though, is that again, it can kind of, if you have dry skin, it can cause it can cause the dry skin on your skin to lift up. And also it doesn't really work with dewy foundations. What I noticed is that it kind of takes the glow out of foundations. So you're pretty much left with 99% of the time a matte finish. One thing I also noticed is that it makes the foundation almost set faster on your skin. It's almost like it's setting while you're blending. So if you're looking to try and save product, then I think this is a great option. And it just makes your foundation go a lot longer and you get more coverage out of it because it's silicone. I think it's just the fact that it's a little bit more squishy and it's more skin-like, I guess, than other ones that are just like a smooth, almost plasticky feeling. This product I reviewed actually, and at the time I was just like kind of whatever about it. I didn't really like it, but I think there are reasons why. This is the Chosunga Bounce Up Pack TM. I know Chosunga has different brands and at different price points, and the other ones actually have ones that are similar to this. This is a really expensive foundation. It's worth the price if it matches your skin type, but there are other cheaper alternatives to this one, I guess. I haven't tried them, so I don't know if they're the exact same, but I'm assuming they're similar because they are from like the same Chosunga brand. It's this, can you call it, it's a putty, it's like a putty foundation, literally. Let's try to make it all aesthetic and look like a perfect ball of Play-Doh, but that did not work out. But it's putty in that you can actually, like, you can just push it back into its normal form. Like, it looks like I fucked it up, but it comes with like a round white sponge that maybe you would see like with a powder, but I just use this Pony Effect puff because it's kind of like a beauty blender consistency, like a beauty blender material, and I just feel like it applies better. What this is gonna give you, it's gonna give you like a matte, I'm wearing it today, it's gonna give you a matte finish, and because of the texture, it fills in your pores the way, I'm assuming there's a lot of silicone in there. It almost fills your skin in the way a primer, a pore filling primer would, and you get really decent coverage. I have bad, I'm not bad, I have like a lot of skin textural issues, so for me, maybe like close to full, but if your skin's a little bit better than mine, I think you can get a full coverage out of this. But the things that I like about it is that it's really, really thin in consistency, but you can still get that good coverage even when you're building it up. It never feels heavy because of its actual shape. It's not like a liquid, like maybe like a regular cushion foundation would be, or like any foundation would be. It's way more resilient to like the weather. So for me, I actually recommend it most only really for people with severely oily skin and that live in humid climates. Because if your skin is dry, if there's any flakes on it, or if you live in a really cold, dry climate, it's gonna really accentuate dry patches on your skin. I have on the oily side skin, and it's kind of humid in Korea, but I have to really make sure my skin is super moisturized for it to look good. But when it does, it looks really good. Because of, I guess, again, because of the texture, it kind of just melds into the skin and it kind of just sits there, and it's not really affected, for me at least, it's not really affected by my oil or sweat. I think it has just to do with like the fact that it's this putty foundation. It does settle into fine lines, again, because of the texture. So those are some things that you need to keep in mind. But for being a slight kind of gimmicky foundation, I guess, it really works. And it's always, apparently it's always sold out on home shopping in Korea. And then last but not least, we've got a Pony Effect product. This is the Grind Sparkling Shadow. It's kind of, this is not a new, there's some people that think this is like a super new and innovative. I think Smashbox had technology like this already, so I guess for K-beauty it's kind of new, but I've seen this before in Sephora. Basically, it's just an eyeshadow where when you twist this, it like grinds fresh, new, oh shit, eyeshadow. So it's supposed to be like sanitary and just it's supposed to be fresh or whatever. I have 3 colors. That one that I just did is Club Kid. The texture is really creamy, really oh my god, really sparkly and wet looking. Oh my god, love it. I talked about this in one video before already. I think a monthly favorites. Oh, love it. That one is Guest List. It's actually, that's my favorite. I love to wear that alone. I love to wear these alone and just a little bit of shading or contouring on the outside corner of the eye. And this one, the one I'm wearing right now, is Pregame. The first 2 I got from Minibox during my Christmas event. And everyone that went there actually got it. This one's Pregame. It's kind of like a pinky shade. Can you see that? Probably not. They last a decent amount of time on my lids, even though my lids are oily and they are quite hooded. You can use your finger to kind of just dip in and kind of apply it because it's really quick, but because the well is kind of deep, if you have any nails, it's gonna be hard to get your finger in there. You can kind of tap it out into the lid, but the thing I dislike about the packaging, I think I've said this before already in that video, there's space between this part right here and the actual lid when it's closed. So if you grind some shadow out, I only recommend grinding out however much you need, because if there's any extra in there and it tips over, it's gonna get into the lid and into the side, and if you open it, it's all gonna fall out and get messy, and it's just not a cute look. So only grind out how much you need, and also I tend to just use a brush if I'm just at home. If I'm out, then I'll just use my finger. Other than those small grabs, I think the colors are gorgeous. There's only 4, I don't have one of them. The colors are gorgeous, this shine is amazing. really high shine, glossy. You see it, or you can even just use them to top off your eyeshadow look if you want. But the thing is, the pigment is really strong, so it might just cover up whatever you have underneath. So that's why I recommend only using these kind of, not only, but I recommend using these mostly for kind of just like the main color, which you know, they're very, in Korea they tend to be a little bit more simple with their eye makeup, so I think it's perfect for K-beauty look, I guess. But yeah, those are 6 kind of gimmicky products that I actually kind of like, that I like. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.